I've had 3 cups of coffee today. 3 cups of coffee, which is a lot for me. I'm usually kind of a 1-2 guy. So I've got a lot of energy this morning. I even did a little funky thing in the background here. Same spot, cleaner bed. We in the red light district. Because I couldn't figure out how to not make it red. I know how to do it, I just don't know where the remote is to change this little uplight thing. Today, January 26th, 2021. And today, a bit of a mukbang because, mukbang, I don't know how to pronounce that word. YouTube it, it's weird, it's just people eating. Because I got a lot on my mind, a lot to talk about. This, for me, today is kind of the 1-year marker of the beginning of what became 2020 and the horrible year that it was, but also a beautiful year in many regards as well. I think a lot of people like to kind of poo-poo 2020, but I try to find a lot of silver linings in 2020, and there are a lot for me. But it was a tough year, a tough, hard year for many of us. On the whole, I think we look back on it with anger. Businesses were hurt. People were sick. People died. People were lonely. A lot went south, but a lot of positives as well. I want to open up today with what kind of sparked it all. It is the 1-year anniversary of an infamous helicopter crash in Los Angeles, California, and the 2 people on that plane that we talk about most often, Kobe and Gianna, sure, they're high-profile individuals, but I always can't help but imagine what it's like to be a family member of the other 7 victims that are just never mentioned. So I wanted to open up with a little moment of silence at a RIP shout out to John Altabelli, his wife Carrie, and his daughter Alyssa, their family. Rest in peace. May you find peace. Christina Mauser, Sarah Chester, and Peyton Chester, and of course the pilot Ara Zobayan. Rest in peace to all 9 of those individuals. May their families find peace as they move forward. But yeah, I mean, while Kobe is a celebrity, an athlete, and his daughter Gianna, they've gotten all the attention. There were 7 other victims on that crash as well, and I can't help but think that it's a little bit insensitive to not mention them on a day like today. Today, the beginning of the unraveling of 2020. It was a tough year, but this for me is kind of the marker. You know, the calendar was still full. The optimism was high. And this is kind of the beginning of it all falling apart. So that's kind of where we're at today. We talk about it. This is the calm before the storm. Hey everybody, I'm Luke Miller. Talk shop with Moment Creative, your host. Moment Creative, Moment Production. I am the founder, the CEO, the janitor, whatever else you want to call me. And that's part of one of the topics I want to have today is I get on LinkedIn anymore and everyone's a CEO. Am I the CEO of Moment? No, I think when you talk about CEO, it is a large company with investors and bottom lines and board meetings, and we aren't that. Am I the president? I don't even like to say that. I usually say principal, which indicates owner, founder, those kinds of things. And in the right context, I'll use owner or founder. But CEO carries a lot of weight, and I think a lot of people use it as a term that does carry a lot of weight, and they want to throw it around, especially the entrepreneur. At the end of the day, over the last, I founded Element LLC, the parent company of Moment, in 2011. So the summer of 2011. So we're almost at 10 years. That's crazy. But over the course of those 10 years, this company has had varying levels of success, highs and lows, scaled up and down. At times have had numerous employees. At times have had no employees. But when you think about it, at the end of the day, a CEO's job is to protect the interests of its investors. A founder, an owner, a principal, at least in my case, is to protect the interests of myself and my family, as well as my employees and their families. That's it. That's my goal. I want to make sure my people have a paycheck, feel like they're doing good work, get up every morning and are excited to come. That's what I do. I'm not a CEO. And we need to stop overusing this term, CEO. Because it's not what you are. I would say 95% of the people that write CEO on their LinkedIn or their business card, they're not CEOs. I don't even have, like, if you look at my business card, I don't even have a title on it. I don't want a title on it because, kind of like the way I start this podcast, my title can be different on any day, on any given day. If I'm working with a client and want to flex our content chops, I don't want to have experiential marketing expert on there. If I'm working with an experiential client, I don't want to have video producer on there. And sometimes you like to keep that anonymity. Hey, I'm Luke. Yeah, here's my card. Go ahead. Give us an email anytime you want. I don't want you to know I'm the owner, founder, CEO. I want you to talk to me like I'm an everyday person. It's like when we reach out to a municipality, for instance, and we're going to do something for a big client with a big celebrity behind it. We don't just jump in and go, hey, my client Apple wants to do something here at your Civic Center with Tim Cook, right? What do you hear then? Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. The price starts going up. So we say, hey, we've got an event we're planning, yada yada, right? We don't use names a lot of times early on. CEO, go away. Go away. And as we turn the page, I continue to think about what are some of these things, these business practices that are mind-blowing, nauseating to me. I have this example of an individual I at one point worked with, and we very, very briefly crossed paths. This person moved on from one company to another, and they've bounced to a couple by this point, and they finally landed somewhere. And then it's a big company with a big reputation, and spends a lot of money on the things we do. So I kept a relationship with this person, kept reaching out. Hey, let's talk. Hey, let's do something. Well, we eventually got to that point, and the dialogue started. We had a meeting. Everything was set. All the wheels were in motion. And then I had another company come to me and say, hey, I want you to give me ideas. Did a podcast on this. Ideas aren't free. Send her our process, the whole thing, right? She comes back and says, that's not what I want. She's basically going, I want free stuff. So I post, redacting her information, of course, this email saying what happened. And I flat out called this woman scum because I do believe that. Now, do I regret that at all? No, I don't actually. But this particular person from this major company called and goes, we don't condone that kind of behavior. We're severing ties with you guys. This is not something that we're interested in working with. Goodbye. Because I called a blood-sucking vermin scum. Look, you want a free idea? Go for it. Go fish for it. We're not it. Just got an RFP the other day. Asked, hey, how many people are involved in it? They said 8. This thing's going to take us 10, 15 hours of work. I'm sitting here debating whether we even respond. 1 in 8 chance of landing the work after spending 10 or 15 hours on it. I don't know. But today, the calm before the storm, this is where everything unraveled. And I wanted to talk about it because this is also where things start to re-ravel. Things are starting to come back. Things are starting to get stronger. We're seeing interest in a way that's commensurate with what we're used to going into this time of year. It's January, spring season, summer season. We start talking about big projects. Brands are there. We're excited about it. So while this was the calm before the storm last year, and the storm being the misery of 2020, right now we sit in the calm before the storm in what is the anticipatory 2021. Could it get crazy? I think absolutely. People would get vaccinated, the floodgates open. This could be a wild year. This is the calm before the storm. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. 1 year later, to John, Carrie, Alyssa, Christina, Sarah, Peyton, Ara, Kobe, and Gianna. Alexa just thinks I talked to her when I said Alyssa and is now shuffling songs by Sarah Bareilles. Thank goodness we have Alexa for endless entertainment. Alexa, stop. And with that, that's it. That's the podcast. Thanks for coming by today. The calm before the storm, it's about to get gnarly.